Good morning, stylists from the back room. Good morning. Today we got topics for you. Good morning, Addie.
Good morning. Good morning.
So today's topic is a trend that's going on. It's not platinum, but it's not brown. They call it Bronde.
Bronde.
Yeah.
Okay, Bronde's cool. Okay.
So
What is? Do you know what Bronde is? Do you want to take a guess?
I'm just gonna take a guess. It's a combination between like brunette and blonde, something like in between, I guess.
Yeah.
So they just made up this word, and it's trending because of anybody knows like the Kate Middleton like hair color and that.
Okay.
Like, what do you think about
Kate
it?
Middleton, she just went super blonde and everybody lost their minds and went ballistic. They're like, oh my God, that's so cool. And then all of a sudden, a day later, was it even a day later? Then she went back to brown again. And then everyone's like, oh, okay, that's cooler. So
Wait, I can't keep up with trends. I'm like live under a rock. I don't know what's going on.
no, but it's fun when everybody notices blondes. They always say blondes have more fun. Blondes is always the blonde bombshell. They always have the symbol.
Yeah.
They always have that attraction. They always have that attention getter, right?
Yeah.
So blondes in that kind of a way is interesting, especially if you've been dark for so long, or if you've been, well, kind of like, okay, look at yourself. You had brown hair.
Yes.
We were doing highlights on you.
Yes, you can have all different kind of fun. You can make it like honey, you can make it sandy, you can make like whatever dimensions. Even with like mochas or like lighter browns, you can have fun with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I just turned around, I'm like, okay, let's go red. I'm like, why not?
But that transition was huge too. That was shocking to people. So when you first started getting the highlights, everyone was like, oh my God, that's so wild. You did something new to your hair.
Yeah,
it immediately catches attention every time,
Every time.
And then you were walking around and you're like, I like your hair. People are just random people. I'm like, who's that? Like, I don't know.
That happened to me yesterday. I went to Dunkin' Donuts and, oh, nice hair. I'm like, oh, I just freshly got it done today. That's crazy.
So going blonde and then going brown and then doing a mixture in between, that blondie style. Oh yeah, totally. It's going to catch attention. 100% is trending. It's going to catch attention, and it's perfect for. It's one of those things for. It doesn't matter what season it is. It always works.
Yeah.
It's just a easy color to do. It's fun to do, and it's easier to maintain as well too. I like it. I actually like it. I think it's nice. I like multi-dimensional color. It looks more natural. It's more fitting. You can custom tailor it to each individual person's hairstyle and each individual person's look.
It's just like the...
Well, you have options though. You could go subtle. You could be conservative. You can go wild. You can go Hello Kitty with it. Like So I mean, and everything in between, somewhere in there, it exists. There's a place for it for everybody. So I like it. I like it. It's pretty cool. All right, Bronde. We're talking about Bronde. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So what's driving this trend?
I am not prepared for these questions today. What's driving this trend? It's platinum. If you look at the past few trends that we had, platinum blonde was a huge thing. You couldn't get white enough. You're trying to be as white as your piece of paper over here.
Yeah.
Okay, so platinum blonde was massive, okay? It's good, but it's not sustainable. You can only do it for so long. There's only so many times you can blonde your hair to that degree, to that level.
Okay.
The problem with platinum blonde also is the upkeep cost. If you don't keep getting it toned all the time and keep getting it maintained all the time, forget about it, man. It's not going to look right. Your platinum blonde all of a sudden is going to look nice and pretty for the first week. Then it's going to start getting kind of yellow.
Yeah.
Then it's going to get started kind of gold. Then it's going to start looking like a highlighter.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to constantly do it. And nowadays, everybody is so busy. Nobody's got time for that.
Right.
So
or they don't come in like every 4 weeks. They have to like stretch it out sometimes. So it's
a
hard.
problem. It's a problem. So it's not as easy to maintain. It's definitely a high fashion look, right?
Yes, yes.
And then you also got to think about the trends too. When you look at fashion, when you look at clothing, that's shifting now as well. So it's not just designer. Everything was designer with logos blasted all over it. Everybody looked like a walking billboard. And you know, like me, for example, I like wearing nice things, but I hate logos on my clothes.
Yeah, it depends like what's going on.
Yeah, no, I'm not a billboard. Yeah, exactly. So I don't like that. So the fact that what's trending now, like I was talking to your brother last week.
Oh yeah, with the fabrics and all that.
With the fabrics and everything.
A fabric snob.
He's gonna
Hey,
see.
bro, I love you.
You know, Dom was talking about cashmere and wool, and these are high. Yeah, it's
people are excited about different things.
So if you want that kind of a look, it works. You know, so I think this Bronde trend is awesome for that kind of a look. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess if you had to explain the Bronde and the honey. Well, I guess we already discussed in fashion terms, like what is it compared to?
What is it compared to? Okay, I mean,
It's kind of hard to pinpoint.
Okay, so you'd be surprised. Think about this. You think about this. You think of, if we're thinking about hair color and then we're thinking about clothing, right? So you know the colors a little better than I do, like that taupe brown or the
brown.
You like, okay, you think of honey, you think of golden hues, like warm tones, okay? And then you think of sweaters, you think of more muted browns, softer browns. You've got richer dark browns with depth.
Okay.
You've got softer, lighter colors. In hair, we would say those are more caramel tones in the golden families. We'd say those are more caramel in like the reddish tones in the warmer families.
Okay.
We would say chocolate browns. We would say, like you mentioned earlier, mocha browns, lighter colors, right? You're like the coffee you drink, that caramel latte thing. It's got like that tan color to it. The deliciousness. Yeah. So, you know, you can talk about things like that too. And so when you're talking about it in hair color, people can think about that kind of stuff. I also like to talk about chocolates all the time. You know, you got milk chocolate, you got dark chocolate, you got exactly. Right. Yeah. The toffee candies, those things that I like, the chewy stuff. You know, so but those are different types of colors and tones
that you can do with your hair.
Yeah. So far as fashion goes, that's how it's relatable. And then when in hair color, that's how that's relatable as well too. Okay. Then now that's your base color. That's your all over color. Mm-hmm. Then you're gonna throw highlights on top of that.
Wow, there's more. Oh my God, I'm like in a buffet. Wow, why am I like?
You crazy girl. Crazy girl.
Wow.
Should not have given you coffee right before we went live, man.
No, it's a good thing.
You spaz attack. Yes, you could put highlights on top of that as well too.
That's amazing.
And then when you put highlights on top of that, you get to use complementary tones that go along with that, because each tones have their own tonal families.
Okay.
And then the level of brightness that you want, you can do that in different ways as well too. You can go light, you can go dark, so you can do different things. Okay. So that's how that works out. Yeah. Good morning.
And then do you think like stylists should be like bringing this up too?
Yeah, we're gonna have to pause because I'm gonna have to help her. So you're gonna have to keep everybody busy for a minute.
Okay.
Or write down what she wants, give her what she wants, and then I'll deal with it later.
Okay.
Turn off your mic. Let me see what are these questions you got here.
BRB.
Where did you leave off? Wait, real quick before you go running off. Where did you leave off? This is the problem with doing lives. How to explain buzzwords. What are these questions? Do you think stylists should be bringing these cultural buzzwords into their client conversations, or do you think it's just insider talk? Interesting, Carmelina. All right. It's not just insider talk. Buzzwords, when we say buzzwords, we're talking about what are key words that we could say to a client. We're talking about what are descriptive words we can use with the clients to kind of relate to them what it is we're trying to give them. When we wait for the client to come in, the client is gonna maybe has seen something online, maybe they haven't. Maybe they're inspired by something, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just ready for a change because the season's turning over. And then they just say like, oh, what's new? I was thinking about going lighter. I was thinking about going darker. So when you're thinking about different things, different buzzwords, different trends, us as the stylist, we should be getting that excitement built into our clients. We really, really should. And the easy way to build that excitement into the client is to say the actual words. Do you want the Bronde thing? Do you want the Bronde look? Do you want the Bronde color? However, Bronde is the buzzword. That's the key word. Plug and play in whatever you want after that. Because now your client's going to look at you and say, what did you just say? Say, Bronde. The hell is that? You're like, oh, it's trending right now. It's really, really cool. You know this base that we've been doing on you? What do you think if we put in a couple of highlights over here? Oh, I don't want to go too crazy. No. That's the beauty of it. We can keep it soft and subtle. Or if the client starts getting excited, really? We could put a couple of highlights over here? How chunky can we do it? It's like, whoa. Oh, you may discover that your client has been excited and been wanting something, just not sure how to ask for it, right? And now all of a sudden you've got them hooked. And they're like, well, how chunky are you talking about? And as a stylist watching, I'm going to give you this advice. Anytime a client says they want to do something and it's something outside of their comfort zone or their usual wheelhouse of what they're asking for, always go extreme. So if a client says to me they're thinking about doing chunky highlights, I say back to them a response something along the lines of, oh, I didn't know you want to do like zebra stripes. You want to have fat bands coming down the side of your head? And they're like, no, not that bad. I don't want to look crazy. Now I kind of have a gauge how much their comfort zone sits in and what it fits in. And I just go extra extreme like that. But you can say, oh, you want like chunky stripes coming down the side of your head? Then they might say, oh, not too stripy, but yeah, I want stripy. Now you're starting to see like, all right, this client is craving a lot of change, And if you're the client watching, look, these are all the things. We're trying to help you. As your stylists, we are trying to help you, but we're trying to discover what your comfort zone is. Too many times people feel peer pressured into just agreeing with what the stylist says. It's a conversation. Conversation is two people going back and forth with each other. So you got to figure out what you really want. And if you're having a hard time, turn it into a dialogue, turn it into a discussion with the stylist, because your stylist is going to look at you and say, okay, if that's really what you want, I'll do it, but it's going to look a little crazy on you. Or the stylist is going to get excited and say, oh my God, I've been dying to do something new on you. This is awesome. It's going to look fantastic. So either way, ask the stylist their opinion. And then you're looking at yourself in the mirror and she's looking at you with her, both of you's looking at yourself together. Man, I just tongue twist myself. You have a conversation with each other. You figure it out. You look yourself in the mirror. You think and visualize, yeah, this is going to look cool, right? Have your stylist go in and do it. What's the worst case scenario? It's too big. It's too fat. It's too stripy. It's too light. It's too bright. Whatever happens, you tone it down. Simple, easy, done. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. So as far as the brown bases, yeah, use the buzzwords. Things like people like food a lot and people like drinks. So if you can say those caramel candies, if you can say the chocolates, the milk chocolates, the candy chocolates, M&Ms, if you could say the lattes and the coffees, people understand clothing like we were just talking about too. Say, tan and cashmere and taupe and I don't know all the words, but yeah, say all the different words. I just learned taupe, so I'm just using it relentlessly. From your chair, are you noticing that clients are asking for color that's easier to maintain? How does Bronde or Honey Blonde answer that request? Easier to maintain is very subjective. The reason why I say it's subjective because, okay, let's talk about this. What does it mean easier to maintain? Is it that they don't want to come in every 4 to 6 weeks? They want to come in every 6 to 8 weeks? Or is it easier to maintain where you do highlights and base color, you do the whole thing this time, and then next time they just got to come in for a quickie retouch just at the base and they don't need the highlighting done every time? Easier to maintain is what? Make the color softer so they don't have to spend as much time or as much details in their styling to make it look right. There's so many different ways we can go with, what is easier to maintain. This current trend, since we're talking about the Bronde trend and the honey, brown, honey blonde, yeah, I believe it is easier to maintain overall. It's nice because you can dictate how subtle, like I was telling Carmelina earlier, you could dictate how subtle you go with it. You can dictate how extreme you go with it. You can dictate how high fashion you go with it. You can kind of judge and estimate how much maintenance you want involved with it. You can do a beautiful blend and do a full highlight or a full partial, even a heavy partial with that brown base and put in those blonde highlights with it. And you can do it in such a way where they could still be like baby lights. They could be softer weaves and everything blends together. And it looks amazing. It looks absolutely fantastic. Problem is, when you come back in the next time, you're going to have to get the whole thing redone again. Is that easy to maintain? Yeah, it is, because all you got to do is wash and style it. Is it easy to maintain from a service level? No, you're still going to have to come in pretty often because as it starts growing out, unless you want to add some smudge roots in there, it's going to look grown out. The thing what I like to do is find a balance between contrast and blend. Contrast enough where you can see the highlights, blend enough where you can alternate how often you have to get the highlighting done and how often you got to redo the whole entire thing. Generally speaking, I like it when a client goes about 1 or 2 touch-ups, just root touch-up, base touch-up, new growth touch-up in between. And then you got to do the whole thing. I like that because it's fun. It gives you more of a, how do you call, like a lived-in look, because the highlights are starting to grow out. But there's enough contrast that you can see the highlights are in there, but it's not so heavy, the contrast. So even though it's growing out, it doesn't look bad. It looks like it was purposefully done. It starts off as a fresh highlight at the scalp, and then as it's growing out, it transitions itself into looking like a balayage. I like that. I think that's a lot of fun. I think it's pretty cool. I personally like it because it's challenging. How can you do it? How can you do it where you start off as a fresh highlight and a base, and then how do you, as it's growing out and you're only doing touch-ups, how precisely can you do those touch-up services where it looks rooted but not so rooted. It looks natural but not so natural. It looks grown out but not obviously so grown out. There's a sweet spot in there between looking bad and looking amazing, you know? And I just like that personal challenge. I think it's pretty fun. So from a maintenance point of view, from that regards, yeah, you can do it from a service perspective like that, and that's easy to work with. The overall thing, what it comes down to, is that the trend itself, this Bronde and honey, what did she say? Honey blonde. Yeah, it's definitely easier on the maintenance overall in the grand scheme of things in comparison to a lot of these fashion, like a lot of people were getting the fantasy colors. They were doing the blues and the reds, the purples, the greens, the oranges, the rainbow colors. It looks fun as hell. It's a lot of work. It's a hell of a lot of work to do behind the chair. It's a hell of a lot of work for the client to maintain at home. The platinum blonde, which has been trending really hard this past couple of summers, this couple of seasons. Yeah, that was hard to maintain. You're just freaking toning all day, every day. You're just toning every couple of weeks. You're just toning. Or the client at home, just blue shampoo, towels are blue, the bathtub is blue or violet or whatever, everything's just violet everywhere. So it's annoying. Well, I shouldn't say it's annoying. Well, it is annoying to me. It's hard. It's a heavy upkeep. That is a heavy upkeep. So that would be maintenance. Do you think this trend is really about the look or about the lifestyle? Clients want to look polished without being in the salon every 4 weeks, right? I mean, we were just talking about that. Whether everybody always wants to look like they did something to themselves. Not everybody is, what are you going to say? Like, people are lazy, they just don't care how they look. Some people might say they don't care how they look, but they're just not putting in as much effort into somebody else who's really going to the nines on it, That's the difference of how I take that question. As far as the polish, about the lifestyle, yeah, polish without being in the salon every 4 weeks. How do they call it? Luxurious brown. Luxury browns, luxe. Luxe brown has been trending for a while now. It's been very, very amazing. So the way that works is you can do a tobacco, a golden brown. You could do the chocolate brown. You could do these beautiful colors that either have a lot of, you're back. Have a lot of, you're talking about this question over here, the way you worded it. Where were we? Here. Do you really
think
it's about the lifestyle or they want to be polished, right? So the luxury brown, You know how I was talking about the luxe browns?
Yeah, like luxurious.
Luxurious. You can do the rich, I'm always talking about depth and richness.
Yes.
So
how far you want to take it.
It looks very shiny. And if it looks very shiny,
versus dull and all that.
Versus dull.
Okay.
So it's very polished. And that very polished look, even though it might be one color or a blend of a couple of colors to look like one color overall, can look really fancy.
Yeah.
And then the reverse, you can put in a lot of different colors together and make them all blend together. Do you remember when you were asking for that Beyonce blonde?
Yes, that one piece of hair.
Yes,
that one piece was good.
So you could do highlights like that.
Okay.
And as long as those highlights are popping, it looks really fancy. It looks very luxurious.
Looks luxurious, right? Versus like subtle.
So I think it's a combination.
Yeah.
It could be lifestyle. It could be easy, about the maintenance as well too. I don't know about that question so much. I don't think it matters as much. I think it's really
depending on the person. Like, do they want it to look shiny, fancy, or do they just want a little subtle, little pop of color?
That's going to be subjective. It's going to depend on the individual person.
They want.
That's why the consultation is so important. That's why you really got to talk to the client and see what do they want. Yeah. Yeah, I was trying to read your
okay.
questions and I just couldn't
No, that's okay. So
figure out where you were trying to go with them.
I'm trying to like, oh, where are we? Okay, so we just did that. Cool. So I guess, what is your take on are fewer big color services actually a treat to like stylists?
Say that one more time.
So are fewer big color services actually a treat to stylists?
Fewer big color services?
Yes.
What does it even mean?
Like
fewer big color services, a treat to the style. So like me behind the chair, do I enjoy doing less work? No, I want to be busy. What?
That's a crazy question.
You're always throwing me these curveballs, woman. No, what are you talking? I don't even understand your question. No, that's not a treat. I mean, it's a treat for my back because I get to actually have a break in between and go to the bathroom, and then
well, yeah, I guess
God forbid I can eat something, but
you can have a little break to eat.
Yeah, having a break, you know what that means behind the chair? That means the bills aren't getting paid and we're eating pasta again tonight because we're not going to the restaurant. How about that?
Ah, so we're eating pasta today. Because
Yeah, because I have a break. You gave me a break.
Because I have a break now. I have to eat pasta.
That's what you get. So no, fewer services, fewer big services. I used to also like
then
big
does it open up for like different tickets, like when they come in for other services?
I mean, as
like new opportunity treatments they can do, or they can do like glosses or refresh appointments, and then you get like different income, like different ways.
If you're doing fewer, okay. You need before so how it used to be.
Okay.
You needed 200 to 300 clients.
Okay.
I think this is what you're asking.
Yeah, depending on services.
To be fully booked. To be fully booked. If you were just doing $45, $50 haircuts, then you just had to pack them in every like 2 an hour, 3 an hour.
Yeah.
You have to get them in every 15, 20 minutes and just keep doing it and doing it and doing it,
right? Or some other.
If you did highlights, then you only need, you can only fit 4 highlights in your day, and you get faster, then you could do 8 highlights in a day.
Okay.
Put them in every 30 minutes, 45 minutes.
Okay.
And then you're staggering them in between, so then this way you can do one in between the other while the other one's processing, So then you'd fill up your book, and then you just have highlight, finish, color, finish, color, finish, color, finish.
Right.
So then your book would be packed, right? And you're like looking at your schedule, you're going, this is a nice full day. It's a nice full week. It's a nice full month. I'm 6 weeks booked out. I am busy. I am packed. Right. But then you look at your paycheck at the end of the month and you're like, I didn't even make $3,000 this month. I barely cleared $3-4 grand this month. And you worked your tail off. So being able to have an income and being able to
have like
more success. Okay. So then instead of doing 200-300 clients, if you break it down, we did the math on the Profitable Stylist. You only need 160 clients to come in once every 6 weeks, I think it was.
Okay.
And they need to spend you need to profit about $50. So whatever you have to charge, so by the time you pay your bills, you pay your taxes, you pay your rent, you pay your blah, 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 cost of doing business, everything all said and done, as long as your profit margin can be at least $50, then you're making $100,000. You're a 6-figure income stylist. Okay. And that's a year, $100,000 a year. So if you're doing fewer, bigger ticket items as far as color services go and haircuts, then it gives you opportunity to be able to do hair extensions, to do keratin smoothing treatments.
Right, if you're branching out.
You can branch out and expand other services. Now you're doing $1,000 hair extensions. Now you're doing $450 treatments. Now you're doing, $200, $300 color jobs.
Okay.
you're moving up in your, but now that's a different kind of clientele. You're attracting another kind of clientele too, because obviously to sustain that kind of services, you need to have people that have that kind of money. Then you're going to have to level up your look too. And you're going to have to level up the way you talk and the way you dress, the way you act, the way you approach doing those services. Now I'm getting into what you're saying. It's nice because in the beginning, okay, so here, my personal journey was when I first started.
Okay.
I've told you this before. I used to work 12, 14-hour days.
Correct.
And I used to work 7 days a freaking week just so I can get it, just so I can make my monies.
Okay.
I still work 7 days a week now, but I'm having fun working 7 days a week because I'm not putting in 12, 14-hour days. I can produce the equivalent of a 12, 14-hour day in, well, I say half a day, but 8, 9 hours. Because to me,
because you're used to the long hours.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I was used to putting in, from 7 in the morning till 9 at night, 10 at night, and then you're like, all right. And then some days was 6 in the morning till 10 at night. That's more than 12, 14 hours. But I mean, you just kind of get used to, like, I just live in the salon at this point. Why do I even go home? I should just build a shower in the shop and just live there,
Yeah.
Whereas now I tell you, oh yeah, I'm going to run over to the salon real quick and
I'll be back.
I'll be back, and I'm actually able to go have fun, make money, and
then come back. And then just...
I'm not gone all day and abandoned.
Oh, right. Okay, all right, fair enough. And then back to the why stylists love creating these kind of tones that we're talking about.
Why we like creating these kind of tones?
Yeah,
because it's fun. More than anything, because it's fun.
Do you think the Bronde is replacing the ashy blondes or?
Oh, 100%.
Okay.
100%. You're always going to have some clients. You're always going to have some clients who always want to be blondes.
Yeah,
and that's okay. They just love it, and that's fine. And then you're going to have some clients who always want to be a brunette. They want to be brown, and that's fine too. That's not a problem. But it's boring to do the same thing over and over and over and over and over.
That's why I always have to change it up. I'm like, I can't take it anymore.
But that's the whole thing. So being able to become a stylist takes a certain level of creativity to be in this industry. It attracts a certain type of mindset. To make money in this industry, though, you need a certain degree of consistency. Those are two very opposing mindsets.
Oh, yeah.
So what happens is you fall into a rut of the same old. And then what happens is you start getting good at making the money. Okay, fine. But then your creativity starts to drop.
Well, if you're doing the same thing over and over.
And then this is why you see, okay, here's a crazy statistic for you.
Sure.
And this is I think this is universal. I'm going to be bold and say this is pretty universal.
Okay.
But to the Chicagoland area in particular, 80% of women in the Chicagoland area are a combination of level 6 or 5 and 7. So 60% is level 6, and then another 20% is 5 or 7 N. Natural.
Wow.
So 80% of the brunettes out here, their formula is either 5N, 6N, or 7N. And primarily 6N.
Boring. It's just the one. Why wouldn't you want to mix chocolates or mochas or
the gray coverage? Everybody's so worried about the gray coverage, they can't think outside of what if we did this into it for some fun. Everybody's just so focused on gray coverage all the time, making sure it's covered, making sure it's balanced, making sure it's touched up, making sure I run on time because, oh my God, I'm a minute late. So it's...
That's fine. That would be fine.
That's a problem. It's a serious problem. So, yeah, the creativity drops. It's a lot of fun being able to do something different and something new. It's exciting. It's challenging. It gets your creativity. It gets your brain juices going, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a hard question to ask me. I'm always... even when the client... I tell this to Bernard all the time, and he laughs at me.
Okay.
I never repeat the same formula more than twice.
Oh, I hear you saying that.
Maybe 3 times. Yeah, you've been at the salon with me, and you see the client's reaction. I'm like, this is the last time we're doing this color on you. You know, that's it. Next time, get ready. We're gonna change it.
Like everything that goes on, it's like intriguing. I'm like, oh.
Because then you see the client. Sometimes their reaction is, well, but I really love this one. I'm like, you said that about the last one. Oh yeah, I did. Oh, I love everything. Okay, yeah, just do whatever. I love everything you do. And it's like, yeah, you gotta get them to be excited. You know, that's really what it's about.
And for you, what is the biggest difference in formulas when you're building a honey versus a Bronde look?
A honey versus a Bronde look?
Yeah.
A honey, to me, honey is more in the blonde tones. So you're in levels 8, 9, 8 and 9. So to me, building a honey blonde is trying to figure out balancing the gold but not looking yellow.
Yeah, so then you have to like do like the root depth and like undertones and how you're placing.
Placement matters. Placement really, really matters. The formula itself is equally challenging as well, because with the honey blondes, I really like those toffee candies.
Oh yeah.
So every time I'm thinking about a honey blonde, I'm always thinking about like that, some kind of tan color. How do I get it gold and blonde enough, but it still looks kind of tan? It doesn't look too yellow. It doesn't look
too much gold.
Too much gold, right?
Yeah.
So that's the challenge in that one. When it comes to the browns, I am all over the place because I like them all. I like the lighter color golden browns. I like the flatter color mocha browns, and I like the deeper, richer chocolate browns, you know?
Yeah.
Overall, to me, I like, between the 3, I like all 3 of them. Between those 3, I really enjoy the chocolates the most because it's got the most depth and richness, but I like contrast. Yeah, so it gives me the versatility of, I can do a subtle contrast or I can do extreme contrast. It doesn't have to be stripy. It doesn't have to be crazy with the highlighting getting mixed into there. So I like that a lot. That's my challenges when I'm approaching those formulas. I like the tobacco tones. I like those too. I really like the tobacco tones. You know, with the honey colors, that's usually my base to start off from. And then from there, I'm trying to adjust how much lighter.
Lighter, darker. And with that, like what is your favorite technique then when you get the dimensional, like when it's like growing out? Do you like think of like how it's gonna grow out? Like
I was just talking about that earlier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was just talking about that earlier. I was saying my challenge is, you see me do this a lot. You see me talk to the clients a lot. I do the highlight and the base color. Oh, you too. I do this to you all the time too, especially with your curls. How fun is it when I tell you, we're going to do your base color, and then we're going to throw in the highlights, and we're going to focus around your front and your face framing, and then it's going to be brighter in the front. As we start going towards the back, it'll start dropping off and blending away, and then in the back, you'll just be a solid color, you know?
Okay.
And then in between...
Yeah, because that's always, like, fascinating, and I always think, like, how does this... I mean, maybe the stylist knows, or it's trying to figure out, like, how it's going to grow out. Like, is it going to make the, like, client, like, you know, crazy, or, like, is it like natural grow out? You know, like, I don't know the right terms.
You have to visualize it. You have to visualize it. So when I'm looking at you and I'm looking at how your hair is growing, and I'm looking at your natural growth, I'm looking at your natural fall, meaning these curls fall here. Your signature piece falls right there that you love so much.
Yeah.
You know, from your crown, your hair falls this way, okay? So the hair tells a story.
Okay.
You, the client, may not be aware or know all the terms or understand why. Sometimes I say don't do that, or why sometimes I say you should do that instead.
Right.
But as the stylist, we're training ourselves to look at all these different things, and then we're looking at you, and we're looking at your face shape, and we're looking at, you know, how
round, square, whatever.
Yeah. It is. And combining all of that together, then I have to make a decision based on what I'm talking to you about, based on what I'm seeing, based on how your hair is growing.
Okay.
I got to make a decision. If I place it here now, what's going to happen in a few weeks when it's here? A few months when it's here?
Right.
What's going to happen in a few weeks when it's here? Then here, then here, then here, then here, you know?
Right.
And I have to visualize that on you. And then I have to do a time lapse. You know, you watch those videos from start to finish, right? So I have to instantly do all of that as I'm talking to you, as you're asking me a question.
Don't really think about that. I mean, we kind of do, but we don't know.
No. So that's the whole thing. And then my challenge is, like I was talking about earlier, is okay, fine. I do your highlights. I do your base color. As it starts growing out, how do I just give you a touch up without ruining all the highlights?
Right.
How does it now just look like natural as it's growing out? The highlight still looks nice and fresh, you know?
Okay.
And it's even more challenging with the curly hair than it is on the straight
because
hair.
you have to like straighten it and do.
Well, because if your curls are doing some crazy thing like they're always doing every day, then, and if I don't do it right, it's so wild, right? But that's the challenge. That's the excitement. No, it's fun. It's not easy.
Okay.
It's not easy. It's a skill set. That's the creative mindset. It's that artistic mindset that draws that type of mentality to become a hairdresser.
Okay. And then how would you pitch this kind of look to a client who's nervous about going too warm?
Going too warm?
Yeah.
Well, you could control it, though. You can control it. Okay. So because we're talking about this Bronde look, so you're still going to have highlights. So you could still. This is what I would do. If you were a solid blonde, and you've been an ashy blonde and you've been toning it, and now you're wanting to go on trend and you're wanting to go darker, go warmer, something, right?
Right.
Do it in steps. You don't have to shock the hell out of everybody in one shot. You can do it in steps.
That's true.
So we start off with some lowlights.
Right.
The lowlights can still be ashy lowlights to match the ashy blonde.
Okay.
Next time, we can add in some more highlights now, or lowlights, excuse me. Well, no, now, so you're blonde, we put in some ashy lowlights.
Mm-hmm.
Next time, we touch the highlights, touch up the ashy lowlights, start introducing slightly warmer tone in the same level family. Next time after that, you drop everything down a level.
Okay.
The blonde, the lowlights, and the new warmer tone. And you start dropping everything down a level. Then the next time, you start adding in more of the warm, and you start going away from the ashy lowlights.
Okay.
And the warmer color starts introducing and taking over more. You're still retaining the highlights. And that transitional phase, that could be the course of 2 visits, 3 visits, 4 visits, 5 visits. I mean, it could be a 6 months long thing.
Okay.
The fun thing about doing it slow and steady like that is every single time the client comes in, it's a new look.
Yeah, that's true too. And it could get.
And you're going towards an end goal. And halfway down, if you decide you want to go a different direction with it, you're not fully committed to that color already. You can
tweak the color a little bit.
You can tweak the color a little bit. So if depending on how nervous, I've had clients who were ultra nervous for change, and that's how we approached it. You know, and then there's other clients that are like, just go for it. Let's just go for it, right? Do whatever you think.
That all the time.
Now,
what do you think?
I always have to sit down and talk to them because whatever I think versus whatever they expect.
Like, no, I want you red. Oh, no, I don't want red.
You know,
I want this.
And we had that conversation. When you told me you wanted red hair, I had to be like, oh. And we were like, wait.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to stop traffic, but I do want red. All right.
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
Okay. Let's see. And then you already mentioned, of course, the consultation is very important.
The consultation is everything. If you do a right, proper consultation, you're setting yourself up and the client for success. If you botch the consultation, even if you do the color perfectly, forget about it. It ain't going to look right. The client, you got to manage expectation. That's what consultation is for, managing the expectation of the result. I talk about this all the freaking time.
It's important.
If you don't manage the expectation properly, then no matter how good or bad it looks, the person is not prepared to see what they're about to see. So you just wasted a lot of time for no reason and a lot of wasted work, a lot of effort.
Okay, and then I guess to close it all up, if you had to sum it all up, why do you think brandy and honey blondes are having such a movement right now? Which I guess we already covered most of that.
Everything old becomes new again. We were just teaching classes yesterday. Right. And you heard me talking with the stylists. Everything old becomes new again. If you're around long enough, you see everything go and come back.
It's like a merry-go-round.
It really is. That's life. That's life. You know,
or a roller coaster could go up, it could go down.
Yeah, all of the above. All of the above. So you do something for a little while, and then you start doing something else for a little while, and then you start doing something else for a little while. And after you've experienced a little bit of everything that you can think of,
right,
then you're like, well, I haven't done that for a while. Let's go back and do that again. And you have your own little space. You have your own little wheelhouse that you play in. Your own little amusement park that you play in.
Because every client, like you mentioned earlier, like you go from the fall color to that color, and then like you write notes down, and then you're like, oh, do you want this like the same color from last time? Or how about 3 times ago we did like this? Do you want to do that? So that's kind of cool to get it in their head to be like, hey.
Yeah, because they're used to it. It's what's familiar.
Correct.
They know about it. They liked it. They haven't done it in a while. It's nostalgic. They want to do it again. Right?
I like that.
So styles like this is quickly replacing the platinum blonde. Yeah, okay, fine. Not a problem. Does that mean platinum blonde is going to go away and nobody's ever going to use it anymore? You're still going to have people walk around platinum blonde, and that's fine. And then is platinum blonde ever going to resurge and become a trend again? Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Probably. They'll come up with
hopefully longer than sooner, in my opinion. But yeah, it's going to be a thing again eventually. And that's why this kind of a thing is such a...
I was like, okay.
And that's why this kind of a thing, this Bronde effect, this honey blonde, this golden browns,
correct,
they're classics. They're timeless classics.
Okay.
They can be morphed and modernized instantly for whichever time and fashion is happening to. It works with everything. It works for all occasions. It works for all seasons. It works for all clients and all hair types too.
That's awesome.
Every single person is a candidate of some version of this trend.
That's true. So, we've seen it.
Yeah. Just got to find what's comfortable. You got to find what you like and make a decision. Go from there. And it's all good.
And lastly, what do you want stylists listening to remember the next time like a client says they want something new for fall?
The first thing, so this is what I want stylists to remember. The first thing somebody says is not the real thing they're saying. So when I've fallen into this trap a lot, when a client says, I want something new for fall, and here's me talking about overhauling the entire look and doing something completely new, completely different than what they have, the client gets so freaked out. They're like, I was just talking about maybe like half a shade darker or half a shade lighter.
Well, now you're talking
and you're like, oh, wait a minute, I thought you wanted to be like a completely different color, like new. And now there's this awkward moment because the client's like, well, what the hell? Excuse me. Sorry, I'm so boring. You know, and it's
no.
You just ruined.
To figure out what you want to try to do.
You ruined somebody's excitement. So never answer the question directly when somebody asks you an open-ended. To me, that's an open-ended question. You got to dig a little deeper and get a little more layered down to figure out what is it exactly they're asking for. You know, what is something new? It's too broad of a question. We got to get more specific.
Like what kind of new thing? Like I can name this, and that, but what if you're not comfortable with all that? That's where you got to find the middle.
Yeah, so that's what I would say to stylists.
Okay.
Yeah, dig deep. You got to go. You got to go for it. You got to ask questions.
Okay.
You got to ask questions.
All right. Well, that's what we got today. That was very interesting.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun when you're asking the questions, except, come up with some easier questions, man. You always throw in the curveball, the goofball things. Are you going to do the sign off?
No. I'm going to leave that to you. But thanks for watching, everybody.
Best way to support us is to go to htbbeauty.com. Thank you all for watching. We'll catch you next week. Go out there and make a difference, one client at a time.
Bye-bye.
The SFTB podcast was not recorded in front of a live studio audience, so thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our color to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference, one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest tips.